Hi everyone, welcome to my Hermitcraft fan art made in Minecraft of the Hermits. This is part 2, the Builders. Let's jump straight in. First up, an incredible artist and brilliant Minecraft player all around. She's focusing on solar punk this season and developed the original ideas for the incredible postal system and is on a massive redstone arc, having just developed Wordle on the server. Of course you know who it is now, it's Pearlescent Moon. Here I am working with some world edit, but mostly shaping by hand. I've built the Postmaster Pearl skin that she's wearing most of the time this season. I had a few difficulties with shaping her clothes, purely due to trying to make it more shaped. I've only made guys so far and I was less worried about the cartoonish quality of the characters than with building Pearl skin. It was a big challenge creating Pearl skin, but I spent so long on it. I'm very happy with the result, as you'll see soon. The idea of this arm positioning is that she'll be holding an envelope out to be delivered and she'll have her satchel bag under the second arm. I then edited as she wears short sleeves, so I made the hands in the skin tone and positioned them so that they were reasonably lifelike. Then went back in and I put in the armband area of the sleeves. Fixed this arm as well, as you can see. And then the same on the other arm. And then I moved into building her face. The features of her face felt slightly off balance, so I had to reposition them a few times. I love the long hair. It took so much longer than I expected though, but it was definitely worth the effort. I built her holding an envelope, built her satchel bag too, which I love. I think she has turned out great. Next up, black footwear doesn't give anything away, but I love these boots. They look really good. The brown trousers might not be a giveaway yet, so this person is a phenomenal builder, having built a city already this season. New this season and a crazily entertaining YouTuber. His skin was originally Shrek, so I've given the frame a Shrek level muscular body shape. Of course you know this is Joel, also known as Smallish Beans. Although I used a reference picture, the vest started to resemble a bra, so I had to use some creative license to reshape it in a more appropriate way. I used some world edit to speed up the basic framing of the clothes, and then edited by hand. Although this was intended to be a loose fit and the body to be extra muscular, I'm not sure that's conveyed in how it came out. I may make an extra segment in the 5th video to make some improvements to one build from each episode. This will be the one I improved from this episode. Next up, brown shoes this time. This hermit has been on the server since season 4, building giant, beautiful bases, including a theme park in season 9. This season, he has built an incredible custom biome with giant redwood trees and a train carving its way through the landscape, along with a gorgeous train station at the entrance to the forthcoming zoo, as well as the deadliest nether portal on the server. Good Times with Scar, or just Scar, is such an amazing builder. He could build anything and make it look incredible. With this build of his character, I ended up building his shorts using beehives. It's pretty close to the colour of the tan shorts of his skin and gives a fun pattern which kind of looks like a crosshatch. Oh, this is the part that I call things can go wrong with world edit when you aren't focusing enough. I was trying to make his legs a little bit longer, as it's too short compared to Joel on Pearl. I clearly didn't frame the world edit command correctly. I got there in the end, raising his top half further off the ground and extending his legs. I like how the shirt came out. I considered giving Scar a bow and arrow, but decided the arm positioning would be very difficult on this small scale to look anything close to accurate. So I came up with an idea which you'll see shortly. Here I built his face, which isn't a difficult one to shape, but I did end up having to widen it a bit to make it more accurate to his skin in game. You will have to excuse the crazy hair, it goes through a funny phase. I was trying something, but it looked a bit too punk rock for the outfit. But I tweaked the hair around until I felt that it worked, and then I worked on the finishing touches for the build. So I built his hands next, which you can't see what's in the one close to his chest, and the hand that's poking out, extending a gift. Here's what he is holding inside his hand. You can see. Now I'm afraid that a good chunk of the Corrales build is missing, I'm afraid, but the most fun bits are still to come up. Corrales is an incredibly skilled builder who can turn to many different styles and scales, and this season he is building a tropical beachy paradise. His aesthetic this season is gorgeous, and I love the vehicles he's crafting this season, planes in particular. Anyway, I never realised that his shirt had flamingos on it until I was looking closely to build him. It is definitely a fun shirt and was quite fun to actually make because of his love of all of the bushes. That's why I've positioned him this way, and you'll see what I have him holding in a moment. He's holding a pair of shears. I did consider putting a massive bush in front of him. I decided not to do it because it would obscure too much of the build of himself. So this next one, I had an issue from the get-go, as you can see. I tried iron blocks for the shoes and replaced them with stone before settling on grey concrete. That may give you a big clue who this is. A terrific builder who can build amazing castles, who's the most chilled hermit in my opinion to watch, and the only one wearing a full suit of armour even from World Spawn. It's Wells Knight. I found him quite simple to build with a few very distinct features. The pauldrons on his shoulders really make a big difference, and it kind of makes me feel like I've been neglecting the shoulders of the other builds. His face is a simple design and would be a difficult one to mess up, but I did want to make sure it looked effective. His skin has a yellowish tone, so I used the smooth sandstone, similar to smallish beans. The plume was a simple but dynamic part of this build that I found very enjoyable. You may notice I've given most of the hermits noses, but not all. A couple of them looked better with noses, considering the shaping's more natural than player skins in game, but some of them still looked odd with noses, so I had to leave them off. I struggled getting a good position for his arms, so I had to settle for a physically awkward but visually pleasing straight edge to hold the sword up. Overall, I think he turned out pretty well. Last one for this episode, a game changer of a hermit who joined at the start of Season 6, brought a new lease of life to the series with his personality, games and pranks. And if that hasn't given it away, this next part will. Of course, it's Grian. I shaped his body rather quickly using Welded It, and then fixed his legs and some issues around the back. And then I went on to build his head, which is quite a simple one. And then I added his hair, which I think looks actually quite nice. He has a dark blonde, light brown colour, which isn't a shade in Minecraft, but I used oak planks and I think they're pretty close. And then I started to build his arms. It was when crafting the arms that I decided to move away from his default skin. So you'll see the trousers change colour here. And then I've started to add in his shaggy hair, his beard, braces coming over the shoulders, or from the United States you'd call them suspenders. I added in the moustache. Then I added in his hat, his winter hat, before then adding in some defects, obviously where he's been out fishing late into the night and all around, and then building in his fishing rod and moving his hand around it. So yeah, I think he looks really good. So what do you think of these builds? Which is your favourite from this episode? And that's where we're going to end it for today. I have another video or two lined up next week as we approach Halloween, but when we come back to this series in a couple of weeks, we'll be building the technical Minecrafters of the Hermitcraft server. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing for more Hermitcraft content. I'm Crixall, and I'll see you soon.